America is panicking. And I want to explain exactly why, not with the word panicking as a rhetorical flourish, but as a precise analytical description of what is happening inside the American decision making apparatus right now. When a government with options acts with confidence, when it sets deadlines and keeps them, when it issues ultimatums and follows through, when its negotiators arrive at the table with a clear framework and leave with measurable progress. America has done none of those things in the last 72 hours. Trump canceled Witkoff's Pakistan trip, a trip America had publicly announced, and posted on Truth Social about having all the cards. Iran sent a better offer within 10 minutes. America called it not good enough without specifying what good enough would look like. And then Russia received Iran's foreign minister in Moscow and took custody of the only currently available solution to the deal's most technically difficult problem.
That is not the behavior of a party with options. That is the behavior of a party that is watching the diplomatic architecture being built around it in Muscat, in Moscow, in Beijing, and responding with social media posts because it has no diplomatic instrument that reaches those rooms. Let me explain each piece of this precisely. What Russia took and why America has no substitute, Russia did not take Iran's nuclear deal by force. Russia took it by doing something simple that America refused to do. Russia offered to store Iran's enriched uranium. This is the central technical problem of any Iran nuclear agreement. Iran has enriched uranium to 60% purity. American intelligence assesses it could reach weapons grade within weeks if further enriched. The uranium exists. It is underground. It is the specific material that the entire conflict's stated nuclear justification is organized around. Any deal requires it to go somewhere. America's position: the uranium must be destroyed or come under American controlled oversight. Iran's position: handing uranium to America is politically impossible. It is the sovereign deterrent of a country that America has been bombing for 63 days. No Iranian government that accepted American custody survives domestically. The IRGC would not accept it. The Iranian public would not accept it. The supreme leader cannot accept it. Russia's position: store it at existing Russian nuclear facilities under IAEA verification. From Iran's perspective, material leaves Iranian soil but goes to an allied country outside American jurisdiction. From America's perspective, material leaves Iran and exits direct Iranian operational control. From Russia's perspective, it becomes the permanent custodian of the most sensitive element of any settlement. Kremlin spokesman Dmitry Peskov confirmed this offer publicly. The IAEA has standard protocols for exactly this custodianship arrangement. The offer is technically workable, diplomatically functional, and politically survivable for both Iran and America. Trump rejected it, according to CNN, not because the solution was unworkable, because he did not want Russia to gain leverage in the global nuclear energy sector from being the custodian. And then Araghchi flew to Moscow, and Russia took the offer. Not away from the table, it kept the offer available. But Russia received Iran's full briefing, confirmed the uranium mechanism remains live, and is now the party that holds the solution America needs but refused. This is what it means to have no options. America needs a uranium disposal mechanism. There is one available. America said no. The party that said yes received Iran's foreign minister, and America posted on Truth Social. The 10-minute offer America cannot explain. Here is the detail that the Western press buried under the Pakistan collapse narrative, and that reveals more about America's situation than any military assessment. Trump canceled Witkoff's Pakistan trip. He posted about it publicly. He said Iran's leadership was fractured and confused. He said he has all the cards. Within 10 minutes, Iran sent what Trump himself described to reporters as a much better proposal. Trump confirmed this. He said it arrived within 10 minutes of his cancellation. He said it was better than the previous offer. He then said it was still not good enough, without specifying what good enough would be. I want to hold that sequence and extract what it actually tells you. A foreign ministry in genuine chaos does not produce an improved diplomatic proposal within 10 minutes of a cancellation. That response was prepared. The improved offer was written, reviewed, approved, and sitting in an outbox before Trump posted his Truth Social cancellation. Iran anticipated the cancellation. It had the improved offer ready for precisely this trigger. That is not the behavior of a fractured government. That is the behavior of a government executing a prepared diplomatic sequence with precision. The appearance of chaos, the IRGC removing Ghalibaf, the delegation stopped at the departure gate, the foreign minister flying Islamabad Muscat Moscow instead of meeting Americans, is the performance layer. Below it, Iran's diplomatic machinery is functioning with more coherence than the coverage suggests. America's panic is visible in Trump's own confirmation of the offer. He did not have to tell reporters Iran sent a better proposal. He volunteered it. Why? Because he needs the record to show that Iran is moving, that the pressure is working, even while he cannot specify what terms would constitute a deal. That is a president managing domestic political optics without a clear negotiating objective. A president with all the cards and a clear exit strategy does not need to manage optics. He announces the deal. America has no deal to announce, so it manages optics instead. What the Oman channel means and why it matters today. While America was canceling trips and posting about cards, Araghchi flew to Muscat and met Oman's Sultan Haitham bin Tariq. The photo is published. Confirmed. I want to tell you what Oman's channel actually is because backchannel as a phrase is used so casually that its specific function gets lost. In 2013, Iran and America were further apart on the nuclear question than they are today. No framework existed. Both sides could not publicly acknowledge talking without domestic political consequences. Oman's foreign minister invited small Iranian and American delegations to separate rooms in the same building in Muscat. He carried messages between them. Neither side publicly confirmed the talks existed for months. And out of those rooms in Muscat, through Oman's trusted, quiet, non-leaking mediation, came the preliminary framework that eventually became the 2015 JCPOA. The JCPOA was born in Muscat, not in Vienna, not in Geneva, in Muscat. Araghchi just loaded that channel with Iran's much better proposal. The offer Trump confirmed exists but cannot detail. Oman will carry it to American interlocutors without either side publicly acknowledging the exchange. American officials can receive Iran's actual terms, assess them, and respond, all without announcing they are doing so. This is what the Oman channel provides that Pakistan cannot. Pakistan requires public acknowledgement of the talks. Oman requires nothing, and nothing is sometimes the condition under which everything becomes possible. The Oman channel is now loaded. The American panic is that this channel, which America needs to receive Iran's terms, is running through a country that America cannot control. Oman will carry what Iran is willing to offer. America will receive it. But the mechanism, the timing, and the framing are all now outside American control. That is the loss of diplomatic initiative in its most specific form. Why the Beijing summit is the real deadline, not the ceasefire Trump is flying to Beijing to meet Xi Jinping in approximately 3 weeks. Every party in this conflict understands this. Russia understands it. China understands it. Iran understands it. America's public commentary suggests it does not fully understand the implications. Araghchi's tour, Islamabad, Muscat, Moscow, Islamabad again, was not random travel. It was deliberate sequencing with one purpose: ensure that by the time Trump lands in Beijing, every other major party has been directly briefed on Iran's actual terms, Russia's uranium mechanism, and the state of the Oman backchannel. Pakistan now has Iran's formal position. Oman has Iran's improved offer. Russia has Iran's full briefing from this week's Moscow visit. China and Russia will compare notes in the 10 days between Araghchi's Moscow visit and Trump's arrival in Beijing. When Trump sits across from Xi, Xi will know what Iran's actual terms are because Russia told him. Russia will know what America's Oman backchannel response was. Both will have assessed whether a deal is achievable on terms they can support. America arrives last. America is the only party in this sequence that has not been directly briefed on the full state of play. America is receiving Iran's terms through the Oman channel, a channel America cannot formally acknowledge, rather than through the direct negotiating session it publicly announced and then cancelled. This is what diplomatic initiative looks like when it has been lost, not a military defeat, not a geopolitical catastrophe visible in satellite imagery. A sequence in which every other relevant party knows more about the state of the negotiation than the country that started the conflict. America has no option that reverses this in 3 weeks. It cannot unbrief Russia. It cannot close the Oman channel. It cannot prevent China and Russia from comparing notes. It can arrive at Beijing with a clear position on Russia's uranium offer, accepting or rejecting the terms of that mechanism, or it can arrive without one. But the briefing sequence has already happened. Russia has Iran's terms. Beijing will know them before Trump lands. The 3 things America could do and why it is doing none of them. Let me be precise about what America's actual options are. Because I think the no options framing deserves specificity. Option 1, accept Russia's uranium custodianship offer. This resolves the deal's most technically difficult problem. It requires America to acknowledge Russia as an indispensable diplomatic actor, which Trump rejected because of what it gives Russia. This option is available. America is not taking it. Option 2, lift the naval blockade of Iranian ports. Iran's UN ambassador stated publicly on April 22nd that Iran will negotiate in Islamabad as soon as the blockade ends. This is Iran's stated condition. Lifting the blockade removes the IRGC's primary justification for blocking the diplomatic track. It gives Iran's diplomatic team the internal political cover to bring a delegation to Pakistan. This option is available. America is not taking it. Option 3, specify what good enough looks like. Trump confirmed a much better offer arrived and said it was not good enough. Without specifying what good enough means, there is no negotiation. There is only a sequence of Iranian offers that America rejects without a counteroffer. Specifying the terms, the specific enrichment limits, the specific inspection protocols, the specific uranium disposal mechanism America will accept would transform not good enough from a stalling position into a negotiating one. This option requires no diplomatic concession. It requires America to say what it wants with specificity. America is not doing it. 3 options, all available, none being taken. And meanwhile, Russia holds the uranium offer, Oman holds the improved proposal, and China will know everything Russia learned from Araghchi's Moscow visit before Trump's plane lands in Beijing. That is what no options looks like when it is chosen rather than imposed. The panic is not that America is out of moves. The panic is that America has the moves and is not making them. And the clock to Beijing is running. What actually happens next, let me tell you what I believe the next 3 weeks look like. Not as prediction with certainty, as analytical inference from the sequence that has already been built. Araghchi returns to Islamabad with Russia's confirmation that the uranium custodianship offer remains available. He carries whatever Oman has relayed from American interlocutors as the initial backchannel response to Iran's improved offer. The second Islamabad visit updates Pakistan's mediation with the full picture: Oman's relay, Russia's confirmation, the state of the improved offer. The public channel is synchronized with the private one. In the 10 days between now and the Beijing summit, Russia briefs China on the full state of play. The China-Russia-Iran IAEA framework, confirmed by CNN from the April 24th trilateral meeting, advances. By the time Trump's plane lands in Beijing, Xi knows what Iran's improved offer contains, what Russia's uranium mechanism provides, what America's Oman backchannel response has been, and where the specific gaps remain between Iran's terms and American requirements. The Beijing summit is then the conversation where Trump either accepts the Russian uranium mechanism quietly through language that allows both sides to claim what they need domestically, or arrives without an answer, in which case Xi tells him what the deal requires and America has to decide whether to accept what Russia has been holding for weeks. In either scenario, Russia does not lose. If America accepts the uranium mechanism, Russia is the custodian of the most sensitive element of the settlement. If America refuses, the conflict continues. Oil stays above $100, and Russia collects $700 million a day in additional revenue, while America burns political capital on a blockade that Chinese tankers cross. There is no version of the next 3 weeks in which Russia loses. There is a version in which America accepts what Russia offered, which ends the conflict on terms Russia helped design. And there is a version in which America refuses again, which extends the conflict on terms that continue to benefit Russia financially. That is the position Russia has built by doing one simple thing: offering to take Iran's uranium when America refused. America panicked. Russia waited. And the deal is now Russia's to give or withhold. Watch the Beijing summit. That is where the panic either resolves into an agreement or hardens into the next phase of a conflict that Russia is winning without fighting, China is winning without fighting, and America is losing not on the battlefield but in the sequence of diplomatic choices it has made and failed to make since this war began 63 days ago. The panic is real, the options exist, America is choosing not to take them, and the clock to Beijing runs whether or not Truth Social acknowledges it.